Well, hey there. We are on our way to meet with Desert Cancer Foundation to plan the next Paint El Paseo Pink event. If you go back to one of my other videos, you'll see that we were actually at the 2018 Paint El Paseo Pink event. It was my first video, I think, or my second. So they're getting an early start, and we thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about how do you help a nonprofit do a big event, what's entailed, and what can a marketing firm offer to that, or if you're lucky enough to be on that committee, what would you have to do for it? One thing we can start with before we get to our meeting is understanding that it's really important to have the brand of the organization carry through even into special events. And I think that's one of the things a lot of nonprofits make the mistake of, is they look at each event having its own personality, because typically they have their own committee. But at the end of the day, it's raising money for one entity, and if the community can't make that connection, then they won't understand that there's 5 things they could do to support the charity. They would just think this one party is the one thing they can do. So it's one of the battles we fight all the time, is to carry the brand through everything that we do for a nonprofit, specifically into the events. So that's major. So I'm back, and I'm standing here with my friend Sarah Bryant, who is the Executive Director of Desert Cancer Foundation. Talk about how you built this committee, because it's changed over the years, and I'm really liking the dynamics. So who is on your committee?
We have board members from Desert Cancer Foundation. We have volunteers in the community. In fact, there's one right there.
Yeah, they're all showing up.
We have healthcare professionals. We have media involved.
Right, media partners.
Media partners that are involved. We have the merchants along El Paseo that are involved. So a whole different variety of people that are part of this committee and helping to make it a successful event.
And what I think that does is it grows it beyond just having a run walk that the people who already know who you are show up to. This now becomes something that El Paseo supports because of it shuts down the whole street, that the community supports, that the healthcare professionals support. So I think by making your committee so broad, you've made this event so broad, and we saw huge gains last year.
Absolutely, and I think FG Creative, Stephanie, you and your team have done such a fantastic job branding Paint El Paseo Pink. But what's even more incredible, I think, for our committee to see is your involvement as our partners in this event. It's not you're just at your office creating this collateral and everything for us. You're here participating, engaging, and it helps our committee members really see what it is this event is about on a community scale, and be able to convey that message to the community on a broader note.
Well, I think it's important that everybody has a seat at the table, because you never know who's going to have the best idea or the next big thing that's going to take it to that next level. So thanks so much for your time.
Thanks,
we'll let
Steph.
you go back to your meeting.
Thanks. Get ready.
Are you guys on social media?
We are. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And guess what? FG Creative, Stephanie Green, helps manage them.
Yay!
So in closing, since you've now heard how to build your committee and that it's necessary to have a plan when you're doing a fundraiser, one thing we haven't really talked about is when you're developing your marketing, think about who you're talking to. Is it the end user people attending the race? Is it the sponsor that you want to give you money? Or is it a major donor or your board of directors? And each one of those need a different marketing message to some degree. So we like to segment those and make sure we're talking to everybody and putting materials together that will give us a quiver full of arrows that we can go out there and do the best job possible. It's a big job to do a fundraiser, but if you segment it, you build a committee, you have subcommittees, and then you have a marketing person or somebody who can understand how to tie that all together visually with your assets, then you should have a pretty successful event. If you're planning an event, all the best to you. If you have any questions, reach out, send me a comment, send me an email. I'm happy to answer, work with anybody, and would love to get questions from you. So subscribe, click and subscribe, send me a comment, and if you can think of anything else you'd like to hear about, I'd need that too.